After I saw it and I noticed when he did like the little like scratch on him when he's like turning to walk away.
Yeah.
I think that is probably the true ending. The true ending.
Yeah.
Like a video game.
That's what
ending.
I think it is.
Yeah.
The motherfucker lives, but he just comes back the person he's supposed to be, because he's gonna be king. I think, you know.
I mean,
so
if
he
it
has to, this
so
whole thing was to test him, to convert
exactly.
him to be
If
a
it really
good
was,
person,
if it really was a test from his mother, she doesn't want her son to die. She wants him just to realize that he's been a fuck up so far in life and he needs to get his shit together. That's why it all comes back down to parenting. This is just tough love right here.
Hello and welcome, Nomads of Fantasy. Hello and welcome, Nomads? Yeah. Hello and welcome, Nomads.
Nomads of Fantasy, all nomads everywhere.
I was thinking, like, I don't have a cool accent to do. I can't do anything fancy here, so I'm just going to come in and talk normal, and this is what happens.
Yeah, let it flow.
Welcome one and welcome all to our weekly video game and movie podcast, where we make a new universe our home every week. This is episode 126. This week we have the chivalrous Eric riding north with me.
Why greatness? Why is goodness not enough?
Very introspective. I wonder that myself. Also, hiding out in the woods waiting to rob people, we have Mr. Brandon.
The wily one.
I do not know of any man who has not marched up to greet death before his time.
Very wise, Sir Arthur.
That was the king.
That's right.
King Arthur. All right, not Sir Arthur anymore.
Of legend.
He graduated. This week we are talking about the A24 film, The Green Knight. Is that correct? Yes.
We are. Yeah.
That is correct.
Came
You're
out
the host. You tell me.
No. The Green Knight. A Green Knight. It is The Green Knight.
The
2021 film, so fairly new. Came out on, what did we watch this on? Amazon Prime?
This was on Amazon Prime. Shortly leaving, so good timing.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, everybody get out there and watch. Hopefully this is still available, and hopefully we can talk into this. Before we get too far into it, why don't we jump into the socials? We always poke out to the internet, stick our heads out of the internet hole, and see what's going on up above. Eric, what's going on out there?
Over on Twitter at Nomads of Fantasy, we asked the question, have you seen The Green Knight? We got a couple responses. The Psych Effect podcast says, is that when Batman ate bad eggs? I don't know if that's a yes or a no. So Dark Knight, Green Knight. Yeah. Green Knight, yeah. He got sick. He's got the, yeah. He's
okay. All right.
Batman's got the pukes.
Or he was jealous of Robin and his sweet motorcycle.
And the Krusty Boys said, tried, boring. Interesting.
Well,
I could see that take.
Preconceptions coming into this one can throw you off, I think.
For sure. But as always, over on our Discord, the nomadsoffantasy.com/Discord, if you want to join us, our good friend Tejas over there says, on The Green Knight, an interesting movie based on Arthurian tales, beautifully made with a vision of grandeur in design and costumes to match, an entertaining movie for sure.
That is, yes.
I love his reviews.
I know, Tejas, thank you for always coming in with great reviews. Appreciate it very much.
Nice. Thank you. So yeah, it sounds like, this does have some mixed reviews out there. It's Rotten Tomatoes was somewhat middling. Its IMDb rating is, it's teetering on, is it good? Is it not good? Is it great?
I think it had 89 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Just not understand it.
Right. They just don't get it, man. You don't get it.
This is one of those movies, absolutely. It's not for everybody. It's one of those movies, not for everybody.
No.
But I think with this conversation, we'll probably dig into what it was trying to articulate.
I think it's one of those movies.
If you've seen it and you didn't like it, you can watch it again.
It's one of those movies, I think the more you put into it, the more you get out of it.
Yeah. It definitely has a
Good-
lot of
it's
those
a good call.
characteristics, and that's usually how you can tell it's one of those movies. Is you're correct, or Brandon? The Rotten Tomatoes is an 89. Audience score is a 50. So usually when I see that, you know that it's probably an artsy movie, and you're probably going to have to
Yeah.
think a
Yeah,
little bit when
it's
you're
a
in it
thinker.
because audience just doesn't get it. So, all right, cool. Well, before we dive in, let me hit the calendar real quick. Next week we're going to be catching up on what we've been playing in February. All sorts of interesting stuff. I've got a secret game I've been playing. So
Secret.
we'll
I have a
see if
couple
we can talk
that
about that one.
I also have a couple, so should be
I would
exciting.
plan on that
Nice.
episode being long because I've been actually finishing games, and I've been trying really hard to
Wow.
crush through some games. So
Yeah, it's
Surprising for you,
always helps.
especially.
Yeah.
Always. Glad to
yeah,
see.
so just expect a lot of video game talk from me in the next episode.
Excellent.
Sweet.
March first week, we're going to be doing a topic. We're going to be discussing obscure Star Wars facts and stories. This one kind of came up in our discussions in Discord. With us just kind of, I forget how we got started on it, but no, we're talking about the space slug
Yeah,
and
the
finding out
origins
that
of the space slug.
It was ridiculous. We
backstory
won't tell that to you
of the
now. Please
space
don't look
slug.
it up. We will if you come back to that
Yeah.
episode, and yeah, we're gonna dig into it. But then we're like, dude,
That's just it.
how many other Star Wars characters have these ridiculous backstories? So that's we're gonna go and
A
A
find
lot
lot
of
of
them.
that.
The answer is a lot of them.
report what we find.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to get into the deep Star Wars because everybody always has to explain everything in movies now, especially in franchises.
There's always got to be
There's gonna
lore.
Right.
callbacks and
Yeah.
histories.
Hey, I love that
So-
shit. It's fun.
Yeah,
No.
me too.
And then after that, we are getting into our year of Bruce. We're gonna watch Looper.
Bruce.
Yeah, man. Gotta
Out
watch.
on Netflix, but the 2012 movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, which I haven't seen, which I've always wanted to see because it looks cool as shit. So, looking
Awesome.
forward to
Yeah,
catching
Ryan
up.
Johnson flick. Awesome.
Yeah,
Well, that's
it's
cool.
a good one.
You're in for
It's
a
a good
treat.
one.
Absolutely. All right. Well, why don't we take a little pause here? Let's head out.
Grab your
to-
axe.
I was
Get
trying
on
to
your
think of
horse.
something that we
Aye.
can do. Yeah. Start trekking
And then
north.
slowly
your quest.
leave the kingdom.
As slow as you can. All right. Well, let's take a quick break. Be right back. And we are back. We have arrived at the Green Castle, and we're here to
Chapel,
fight night.
excuse me. We're here already?
Yeah, it's the
Excuse me.
Green Chapel.
Excuse me.
We are talking about The Green Knight, a movie based off of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight.
So I'm
old
laughing because the way
Arthurian
we
tale.
say chapel is just very like
Chapel.
northeastern region.
Oh yeah,
Chapel.
it's a
Chapel.
Western New York accent.
CHYAPAL. Chapel.
Head down to the chapel.
Chapel?
Yes,
How
yes.
else are you gonna say it?
Chapel.
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 It's one of those words you keep
Chapel.
saying
Chap-
and it loses
chapel.
its meaning.
It doesn't mean,
It's
yeah.
just a very
Lost all
subtle
meaning.
Y in there.
Chapel.
Sorry, you're going over the
No, that's
Story of
we
this
gotta discuss these things. They need to be discussed. Yeah, an old Arthurian tale that got remade into an A24 movie.
I love that it was not
It's
like we don't
interesting.
even know who the author was. It's like an anonymous story out there.
Wasn't the witch was based off of like old tales, but that was just like they kind of like based
This
it
had
off of like
some
that
witch
kind of stuff,
vibes
but
going on it.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
way.
It's
You know,
an A24 flick. so
half
I
the
kind
actors
of-
were
I
in that movie
expect
anyways,
it.
but
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it was good to see the little thief guy. I forget that kid's name, but he was good.
he was in Banshees of Venus Sheeran.
Yes.
And
Oh, that's
Eternals.
what he was from. I was trying to place
Yeah.
what I
He's huge
saw
now,
him in
man. He's in
recently.
everything.
Okay.
He's just so unique looking, you know. So it's good and he's a good little actor.
Good character. Yeah.
you need a-
Good character.
Little street
Little
urchin
stinker.
from England.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry, this movie has a lot of characters, so we're all just reacting to it because it's just one of those adventure movies.
Well,
you
yeah,
know? I know it's
I
like a
mean-
slow, artsy one, but it is an adventure movie.
Yeah, let me give you a quick synopsis. Basically the movie starts, it's based off of Sir Arthur and those tales. There's a dude, what's Deb's name? Gawain.
Sir
Gawain.
Gawain. Mhm.
Sir Gawain.
Gowan,
Not quite a
yes,
knight
Gowan.
yet. He's the nephew of Arthur. They go to celebrate Christmas. They're like, let's have some food, have a good time. The Green Knight shows up. He challenges any knight that wants to I don't even know what they call it, like a game. He calls it a
It was a
game, but it's
game,
not.
yeah. It's a
It's not really much of
challenge.
a game to it.
Yeah, his it's weird because like King Arthur's sister, right? Gawain's mother is like a witch, and it's kind of like known.
Yeah.
So she just does her witchly stuff, and she does like this thing with a letter, and has a instead of a red wax stamp on the envelope,
Mhm.
green, and then as soon as she does it, it burns up. It hovers a little bit, and it burns up, and then the Green Knight shows up at the Christmas party,
They summon him
and
essentially, but
yeah, so it's
Which
like
is
she was
weird.
in on it, but there's a lot of symbolism. But yeah,
Before,
you
yeah,
know, for what it is,
Right,
that's what
yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
yeah.
essentially the game that he challenges them to is like, cut me now or hit me with this axe now, and come back
Beheading
here,
game.
come back in a year later, come to my hood, and I'll do
Well,
the same to you.
The thing
And
that the wording in the challenge is interesting because he says like basically whatever injury the knight or whoever challenges him inflicts upon him, he'll return the favor. He didn't necessarily say you have to cut my head off. And that's where
I know we're trying to quickly do this, but he did
had
that on
that
purpose. He's
decision.
like, how much of me will
exactly
you take?
yes,
You can do
exactly.
whatever you want. You can
And
nick
there's a
me,
lot
or
to be
you can
said
take my head.
about why Sir Gawain cut his head
Right.
off, but we could again. I
Yeah,
don't want to get too
I
ahead
know.
of ourselves.
I know we're like
Ahead
antsy
of
to get
our-
into it, but yeah. But anyway, that's what happens, and the motherfucker
then
cuts his head off, and he goes
cuts
on
his
this
head off.
adventure.
Yeah, and he rides north. Waits a couple months, 6.
It was a
7
year.
months,
It's a
No,
year.
It was
Well, he's
12.
gotta
It was
travel
1
out
year
there.
and a day.
Well,
So
he said
He's gonna
meet
leave
the Green Knight.
he's gotta leave after like 9 or 10 months to get there, though.
they said it only takes a 6
Yeah.
night ride. They said
That's it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Man, that was a long ass.
6
Yeah.
night ride
That's-
north. Yeah, 1 year. 1 year.
A lot of
time.
shit happens in 6 nights, but
yeah. He
that's
more
essentially-
or less dilly dallies around fucking the village, just being like a celebrity that beheaded the Green Knight, and he's just
Yep.
like whatever, horn his way through stuff and just not taking anything serious. But he's like deep
Well,
his
in the
mind, he's
back
like,
of his
I gotta
mind,
fucking-
oh,
I gotta
yeah.
go do this.
shit.
I
He
gotta
knows
live
what's
up to
coming.
What I've said.
He knows what fate, is waiting for him.
When he
Or
wants
he
to be a
doesn't.
knight.
He knows that there's a fate. He just doesn't know what it is, and yeah.
He hasn't
but-
written his tale, but all right, you guys
Yeah,
sound
but he
pretty
says
pumped.
worth-
Let's get to initial.
There's just a
reactions
lot
here.
to talk about with this movie.
Eric, why don't you
Yeah,
talk first? Why don't you
Sure.
just give us your quick thoughts here?
My initial reaction was, I mean, I liked the journey. I liked, the setting, all that stuff, the quest that it set up for Sir Gawain. I don't think when I first saw it, I don't know if I was too hot on the ending, with how it ended. But the more I sit on it, the more I ruminate about it, the more, and I watched a YouTube video like you did, Brandon, just like validating
I'm going
some
through the
things.
same emotions you are.
Right.
Yes.
Like I was thinking things like, okay, is this what happened? Is this what happened? And the video I watched sort of validated all these things that I was thinking about, which made it, a little bit better for me, the ending for me.
Totally the same, bro.
But I was like,
totally like
I
yes.
couldn't quite know, like I wasn't sure if I actually enjoyed it after it ended. I'm like, wow, that was, I don't know. I couldn't parse my
Feel it.
feelings, but as I, it's been a day now since I watched it. So now that I've been sitting on it, I think I'm coming around more, especially on a lot of the themes, a lot of, the symbolism, like you said, Brandon, and, just a lot of the things it means for Sir Gawain as a character and his journey throughout this whole movie. So yeah, it's a good movie, and it's a beautiful looking movie too. Like the cinematography,
sure.
amazing.
Cool sound, looks
Yep.
good, well acted.
Good, sounded good. Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
Standard A24
Yep.
soundtrack of like weird crescendos that build up.
It's
During
very
the scene,
ominous, very ominous
Yeah.
music throughout.
man. Guys, just come up with something new. Come up with
It
another.
just gave. it was very A24. It's like The Witch. It just felt
Yeah.
like in like that's a
Mhm.
genre of like storytelling. It was that because it's just
And it's
everything
like
about
a lot of
The Witch. It's
yeah,
what
a
I'm
lot of like unreliable narrator type stuff throughout. Like
Mhm.
a lot of classic A24 staples. Definitely, they put their stamp on this movie.
right.
Brandon, you likey?
Yeah, so it was weird because I was flying back to Buffalo with my family and we were going through some crazy turbulence, so I had to stop watching this movie on the flight. But I was watching on the flight. I got halfway through this movie. I got to the house with the woman with the head in the water, and I'm like, this turbulence is so fucking scary. I'm shutting down because like I might if this is we're going down. This is not how I spent the last few seconds of my life.
That's the last thing you want to see.
No, it's not.
Staring at my kids or something, asking for a beer or something like that. But no, like the flight attendants, they were like locked down their seats. They were not standing. That's what got me nervous. But anyways, so I'm like, this movie's kind of not what I thought it was gonna be. Because I don't watch trailers much anymore. I had no idea. All I knew is that it was based off of some fucking random poem from the 14th century. And they were like, yeah, let's make a movie off of that. And I'm like, all right. And I heard it's kind of artsy. And I heard people had mixed opinions on it. So I'm like, all right. So I watched the movie. And I'm like, this is fucking cool, actually. Like, there's enough to chew on here that I would like to make it a podcast episode. So I never revisited until we put it on the calendar and we're talking about it. So now that I've finished the last hour, half of the movie, I'm kind of like you, Eric, where I was up and down. Like, I was loving how it looked.
Yeah.
The pacing was weird, but I can deal with slow movies. Like, I've learned to appreciate slow movies as long as the reward is worth it. And the reward was a delayed reward. So the movie ends, and I'm like, huh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I guess I didn't see it coming, but I'm like, okay, I knew it wasn't going to be a normal ending. I knew that. I just knew that was the whole mystery of the movie. He's going to the Green Knight. It's called the Green Knight. But what is the purpose of all this? Like, what? And I'm trying to absorb all the symbolism and the themes and such. So
that was my question throughout.
And it just ends kind of like emotionless. It just kind of ends.
That was my question throughout, Brandon.
And,
what is the purpose of all this? Yeah. Why
right,
is?
What are you trying to tell me?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I know they are trying to tell me. It's not like they weren't trying to say like, oh no, it's about nothing. Right. It was about something very specific. But I was picking up on some.
Yep.
But other things, I think it was just going over my head. So
the ambiguity of the ending. I think
it's heavy.
That's
in the ambiguity. Yes.
Because there's a lot of, themes about morality. As he's supposed to be a knight and he's riding north. And it seems like everything that he does, like he's like completely not a knight. Like he gets robbed by the thieves.
Right. This whole journey is a test.
The castle, whole thing. Yeah, essentially.
It's exactly what it's very Greek to me. It's like the Odyssey or something like that. Like he was destined to go, or he was supposed to go to this battle or do this thing, but along the way, shit went down, and now he's crawling his way through it, and he's still trying to like achieve his faith or whatever, his goal to like get to the Green Knight, but he keeps bumping into all of these characters, and each one of them is a test on his character. And the whole movie the whole movie is critiquing his character, and you have to probably think about this yourself. Like, are you the person you're saying you are, or no, like what are you waiting for? All this guy does is like, not yet. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Like, are you wasting your life, or are you gonna do something about it? Because you talk about it, but are you going to do something? That's what I took away from this movie. And when I watched the YouTube videos, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. This is like way deeper than I thought. Because on a high level, I understood that part. Like, are you going to do something with the life that you have? But
I forgot, there's a line in there where I think somebody says, like, you're not who you are born, you're like who you become, or something along those lines.
Yeah, it's a great line.
Which kind of lines up to, the whole kind of synopsis of the story.
It's all about the virtues of the knights of the round, essentially, like, and what the virtues of the knights stand for. Which, again, I don't know if we watched the same video or not, Brandon, but there's 5 virtues that these knights live by, and it's generosity, chastity, friendship, courtesy, and piety. And each stage of his quest was a test of each of those virtues, and he essentially failed every single one of them throughout his whole journey.
Yes.
So
that's awesome. I didn't know that. That's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, see, this is the thing. I'm like, the more I learn about this movie, I really like it because I knew at the end of it, I could watch this movie again. Like some movies are weird, like Under the Skin. I don't have a desire to watch it probably ever again, but I respect it for being weird and doing something different with the story with that character. But this, I just feel like I could watch it again, knowing how it ends, and like, I just feel there's enough to look at and like appreciate with the symbolism. But I think you have to watch this movie. I don't know what to tell you. If you don't like it after like 30 minutes, like
Yeah.
Well, it's
you
all
gotta
about
watch this movie
expectations in this one. Like
to
the Green Knight, like just the word knight being in the title, you kind of all think that there's going to be some action.
Oh, that's a
Like,
good point.
is this the
Right.
next Lord of the Rings? Like,
Which is like
this
this
is like
character. Is he going
the
to be a
furthest
knight?
thing.
Right.
It's the
Yeah.
furthest thing from like an action epic. Well, I mean, it is kind of epic, but it's it's an isolated little story. It's about Sir Gawain, and it's not about orcs versus men and giant battles and shit like that.
Well, what did you think, Dave?
Yeah,
Overall,
just
you
general
know,
impressions.
I obviously, yes, it's a beautiful movie. Probably a little long in the tooth. The pacing got me. This is one of the only movies, I think this is the only movie that we watched that put me to sleep in the middle of it at a certain point. Like
I can
I
tell
I
you were groggy
dozed.
explaining this movie, so I feel like you probably struggled following
I was a
along if you
little, I
fell
dozed
asleep.
a little
Yeah.
bit, but no, I liked the journey and the tests that he goes through. I didn't watch any YouTube videos on the end of it, but I did pick up on the double entendre at the end where it can go either way, so it's kind of up to interpretation and how it ends. But after thinking about it, I'm kind of with you, Eric. There, it makes there's more to it than face value. Like it's got
Yeah.
a lot of commentary on morals and the choices that he makes, and gets himself into his own dumb issues. So
I think the question that I was struggling with throughout the entire movie is, I mean, obviously it's his mother. I mean, it all boils down to this kind of, it all boils down to parenting, really. So his mother is this witch, and she conjures the Green Knight. The question is, why? Why is she doing this? Why is she testing her son? Is it a test for him to fulfill
Be a good king.
Right, fulfill himself,
He's
to
destined to be the
test
king
himself.
because
Right, he's next in line because King Arthur doesn't have any kids, so he's
right.
next in line for the
okay,
throne.
yeah.
So yeah, she this entire time. I mean, it opens up. He's in a whorehouse on Christmas Eve, and he wakes up on Christmas, and his mom's like, "Oh, I'm going to church," and he's like, "Nah, I'm not going. I'm not going to church."
Good.
Blah blah. And during that time, I mean, at that time, church was everything. Your faith and like all that stuff was like everything in life, and like the fact that he was just disregarding that, I think his mother obviously did not like that. So she comes up with this plan to test his virtue, test his honor, and see if he is worthy to become king. So I mean, that's kind of what I got out of it as the reason why, but that's what I was struggling with in the beginning, because it's it's like, why is she doing this to her kid?
Right.
But
She's not like a main character or anything. Like it's
No.
just like in the beginning and then at the end when he comes home are kind of the only times you really see her, I
Right.
think.
Yeah, but the character is throughout the movie, I think, because I think she's the fox. I could be wrong, but I think
No,
she
it's
could
the
be the
dead girl.
fox. Is that who?
I
Really?
thought
I thought-
I didn't think the fox was anyone. I thought it was just a spirit guide like along the way.
There's the woman with the thing over her eyes at the Lord and Lady's
Right.
house that he meets with later on. And I was like, that's like not a coincidence. This is her in some capacity, right?
Well,
So I
the
think you're
mother
right that
also had the
she's putting him on this
blindfold
test.
in the beginning too. So that's kind of a cue for the blindfold.
Yeah.
Old
lady.
ladies do.
Walk around with
So, and then
blindfolds.
I didn't
she's there
think
at
that
the
mom
end,
was
but
there. She's watching her son bang the Lord's lady. Like, come on, that's a little creepy.
did they bang? I don't
He didn't
know.
bet. He just got. I don't know if he got jerked
Hand
off
job,
or
I
if he. Yeah.
I think he checked the oil. I think he was in there.
Well,
It was all over his hand, bro.
Yeah. He had.
She wiped it
It's so
on
cute.
his hand.
I don't know. He
She
was
wiped it
clutching.
on
He
her.
was clutching the green belt.
He
and-
wanted it. Yeah, he got it.
Yeah. That whole scene was. weird.
That's another virtue where he failed. He's
Oh, yeah.
I forget which one that one was.
Yes. So
Chastity.
that's the thing about this movie, though.
There you
Is
go.
like, is this movie like? Yeah, it's like you said. You see the word Green Knight. Who's a Green Knight? And then you meet this Green Knight. He's like, oh, that's like the bad guy. I was like, he's not really a bad guy. He's just
Right.
just like this mysterious guy that challenges him. He says, "Nick me any way you want." He lends him his head at full capacity. He's like, all right, if you're gonna do that to me, I'm gonna do that to you. See you in a year. And then he goes off, and then it's just like, man, like that's not a. He's like, there's nothing redeemable about Sir Gawain at this point, right?
Yeah, before we brush past,
But he's gonna be a knight. He's gonna find his way, and he
Right.
never does. It's a very frustrating watch, and I think that's the story of this movie. And then when you get to the end about taking off the sash and all that stuff at the end, is because he chooses to face. He's got to do something at the very end. He finally does.
yeah,
But we can get
faces his
into the
fate.
final scene. But
Yeah.
I was wondering in the beginning when they were doing the whole riddle thing. I caught it when he was watching it. You know, cut me now, and I'll cut you the same the year later. I'm like,
Exactly.
just don't be a dick. Just give the dude a little paper cut. And give him
That's
a
the
high
whole
five
point.
and
That's the whole
go
point.
on
Sir
to their
Gawain,
way.
Sir Gawain wants
he went for the
to
easy route.
show off in front of all these people, and
Right.
you know,
I'm a knight. Look at I beheaded him.
exactly. Like he's done nothing up to this point in his life. He's done nothing but hang around, bum around, fucking. You know, he's sleeping in horror houses. You know, so
Didn't
He-
look
he-
like he wanted to.
this was his moment to shine. So I think he just took it all the way.
He could have been Sir Gawain the Gracious or the Merciful or something like that. But
And I think if he,
had to
but
go
in
chop
that
the dude's head off.
in that moment, I think
Right.
if he didn't chop his head off, then all the other knights would have looked at him like as a wimp, or like, as a.
I guess
I
you
think
don't
he
ride
was
your
trying to
horse-
prove
you don't
himself
ride
in
your
front of the
horse into
king.
King Arthur's. Yeah, you don't ride your horse
Exactly.
to King Arthur's fucking place. Like that's kind of a dick move.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. Probably just dropping horse shits all over the place.
Random
King Arthur's
scene.
the true villain. No, not really. But King Arthur did tell him, like, it's just a game. Like, don't worry about it. It's just a game. And Sir Gawain took it as that. Like, oh, nothing's going to happen if I chop this dude's head off. But
Well, it's a game. You
Right.
got to think and you got to play it. That's why you give him a little cut.
exactly.
Be like, ha. I don't know. That was a little much, Sir Gawain.
So the movie starts with the scene in the very opening, and it's like some animals, like goats and chickens and shit, and in the background are these houses, but one of them starts on fire.
Yeah, I noticed that.
What was up with that? I saw that scene twice.
think
'cause
that was-
restarted
it was
the
just-
movie the second time I watched it. I'm like, what is this about? And it doesn't.
It's just foreshadowing the ending. Same with the very first scene where we see Sir Gawain kneeling and he's got
Oh,
the
it's
crown
singing
on
the
and his head sets on
Yeah.
fire. That's like foreshadowing what's going to happen if he becomes king, you know?
Hmm.
Or if he becomes
There's a
king the
house
way
on
he's
fire.
living his life.
Yeah. Well, at the end, at the end, like the village is being attacked. They're coming to kill him, essentially. Like they're raiding the castle. So, you know,
Okay.
so it's like that. I think that's how I took it, anyways. It's foreshadowing what would happen if.
And does it cut after that scene? Does it cut to Sir Gawain waking up in the whorehouse?
It like transitions to the
Okay.
door to the whorehouse opening.
It
It's
pulls
like
back
yes,
through the
yeah.
That was a pretty cool
So-
shot though, because
It's a great shot.
they had the horse and the thing, and it was there for a while, and then they pull back like without a cut, and then Sir Gawain's like in the foreground again too. There,
Yeah.
It's a nicely shot scene.
I mean, there's a couple scenes
Right.
like that of him like in the woods when he's tied up, and it does that really cool shot in the forest, like the 360-degree shot, and shows him
Right.
dead on the ground like a skeleton, and then
I
it
can
goes
just stay here and die,
rewinds
or I
back.
can do something
Right,
about it. Yeah.
exactly. Yep.
So it's interesting. Now you got me thinking. Okay, so I'm thinking about that opening scene. He's in a whorehouse doing nothing about it, and like 100 yards away is a house on fire. Could be a fucking family or whatever in there. So you see a guy show up, he goes to the horse, and he pulls his nut. He hops on his horse, and I think he has a sword drawn or something like that. He's doing something about it. Like you have a guy who's literally living up to his virtue. Like, I'm supposed to do something about it. And this
Right.
guy is saying, not yet, not yet, not yet. Now, throughout the movie, he's tested, right? His mother says, if you are going to be king, if you do it the way you're doing now, the person you are, you're going to be a bad king. I think she tested him, and all of this stuff was ways to kind of give him a chance to become the king, a good king.
Exactly.
And I think he does at the end become a good king. But we'll get to the ending scene. But I think like along the way he did learn his lessons, right? And then like he did get the skull for that one woman.
Yeah,
You know, she was
but
headless. It was a ghost.
before he
He
dove
asked for
in,
something
he
in
asked
return.
for something in return. Exactly. That was
do I get
that
for
was the
sword?
test, right? Yeah. That was that. So I guess that would be courtesy. I don't know, courtesy.
Yeah, that
Could be.
dude. Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, he
Yeah.
asked for something in return for doing something, a selfless act. So that I think that's where he failed.
Yeah, that was a
Right.
creepy scene. I like that interesting little supernatural
That was
kind of
cool.
element to it.
Winifred.
Yeah, and she had the bright orange hair, and she's been in other A24 films. We've seen her other places too, but when he comes up, the fox is there, and that's kind of why the fox is orange. Her hair was orange. That's the connection I made there.
Hmm.
I
I
just
didn't
think the
make that
mother's with
connection.
him the whole time, and all these people are not real, and it's just like the mother doing some magic shit. Because like,
Although, so if the fox was the mother, why would she try to stop him from going to the Green Chapel though?
as a
At the end.
test to say no, you could stop. You don't. You can go home and be a coward, and it'll be okay. You'll be
But I
alive.
think that was the test
But
of
he's like-
friendship. That was with the fox was the test of friendship. And at the end,
Okay.
he fucked that up and told
Sure.
them to get out of here. Scram, shoo.
Okay.
I don't want you here anymore.
Okay, right. It's great. Everything he does is just like, dude, why are you doing what you're doing? So yeah, you're probably right. So the kid that is in the field going over like scavenging the bodies and looking for his brothers or whatever, he says, "You look like a knight." He says like, "I'm not," or whatever. And then he's like, "I'm looking for the Green Chapel."
Mhm.
And he says, "Yeah, you can just go down, north lake." You can go north
Yonder
lake.
down by don't forget the stream.
The stream, North Lake. And he does, but he says like, is my like information not worth anything to you?" And he says, "My thanks." And he says, "That's it." So he throws him a coin, and he
One.
does this little thing where it's like, I see it, then it disappears. What was that all about? Because like in the end of the movie, he's alive, but like the axe is given to him at the headless woman's house. So like,
Yeah.
how does all that like? I know it's like magic and like it's weird, but how did this stuff happen? Or do we
Yeah,
just aren't supposed to
I
know?
was also confused of why the axe was there at Winifred's house as well. Because yeah, the scavenger kid had the
Wasn't
axe.
it
He
with the
took it
horse?
with him. I mean, it's like you
Just
said,
goes fucking off.
it's a magical axe. It could have fucking vanished from his hands and appeared at Winifred's house. Who knows? Because it's
Maybe the
all,
ghost got it.
or I mean, it's all orchestrated by his mother. So maybe she was just like, no, you're not supposed to have this. This is supposed to be for Sir
I
Gawain.
thought that was the ghost rewarding him for getting the head. Like he asked for a reward. She's like, yeah, you're kind of.
I didn't
kind
think
of a
about it
dick
that
for
way.
asking for a reward, but I thought maybe the ghost had given him the axe back, as thanks for digging my skull out of this pond.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how
maybe.
the axe
Scavenger
got
kid.
back there.
Scavenger Kid is good though. His name's Barry Cogan.
Yes. Yeah, him. Yeah,
Keegan.
he's everywhere. Yeah. Good actor.
But yeah, him. He's taking. I mean, Sir Gawain is kind of gullible by just like listening to this person that's scavenging a war. I don't know, the leftovers of a war, getting things off of bodies or whatever. But he's like, yeah, okay, I'll take the stream. And then he gets horse jacked. He gets, what do you kind of expect to happen? But
Yeah, I
Dude,
knew he
gave
was
you
up to no
attitude.
good.
It's just like, did you see how he shifted? He went from like dorky, bubbly, little goofy guy, like giving you directions to like, is my information not worth anything to you? Like, bro, like,
Dude, that's his.
you didn't pick up on it? Read the room. Like, that guy is
read the
not,
room.
he's not
Right.
cool, dude.
Right, exactly.
And then you're just like, oh, I'm gonna go get some water and give it to my horse.
right.
and
You
walk.
trust this dude? You
Bro, like,
trust
that
his
guy-
directions in woods you don't know?
Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
So it's just his
Gawain's just an
naive,
idiot.
I guess.
Yeah.
Gullible and definitely just does not have any spidey sense. So got his ass kicked
No.
quickly.
Yeah.
And then they took everything, and then this green stash his mom gave him,
Gone.
gone.
Yeah, there
Everything was
And he does get the green sash later, from a different
From the lady.
from the lady. Yeah.
It's very
the-
similar
the one.
looking though, but apparently I don't know if the color green is used. I mean, it's throughout this movie, but in like Arthurian
it's nature.
like legends and stuff like that, nature, that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
Good
they
old
say like
Dutch
everything is
word.
gonna nothing lasts forever, and in the end, everything's gonna be overgrown. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
just inevitable, and it's just like, so what do you do with your life? Because no matter what you do, you're going to die, you're gonna rot, and then you're gonna be surrounded by leaves and roots and stuff like that, and it's over. Like nature's gonna do what it's gonna do, but our life is short. So if you say you're gonna be something and it's good, then be it. Do something with it.
Right.
So that's what the green stands for. The red is just like lust, human nature. You're passionate. I think it's always like the human part of things. You don't have to do it. I don't know, because they used it. The first time they used the red was when Merlin, with the tattoos on the cheeks, gives the head nod to the
Merlin?
king.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like when the Green Knight comes
Oh.
into the courthouse or whatever, the Christmas or that party they were having, and he's like challenged, like, I want to play a game or something like that, because he's having his wife fucking. It's funny, the queen started doing the talking for the knight through the letter.
That was nice. That was a good touch.
Yeah. But yeah, he looks, the king looks to Merlin. I had to find this out through YouTube, but that was Merlin, right? And he shakes his head no, and the color's red on him for a second. He says, no, don't do it. But the king does it anyways and lets the Green Knight in, and then that's what it is. He says, he looks at Merlin if they should let this guy in or not, and he shakes his head no.
What would the Green Knight have done if they didn't let him in? Just go away and that's it?
Well, Merlin and like Gawain's mother don't get along. They have probably different, philosophies maybe on shit. I don't know.
One's a wizard,
Like,
one's a
was
witch.
Merlin a Christian?
Right?
No?
I don't know.
Never thought of
I
that.
don't think a Christian mom though was doing like weird envelope rituals where you're doing all sorts of.
So one of the
circles and
things
shit
that I
like that.
learned was, like, I guess back in the day it wasn't always as structured, and they would allow witches and not pagans, but like kind of witchcraft in the Christian faith in some way.
Huh.
Like it was
Okay.
more like old. I don't know. That's what the one video was saying. I don't know if that's true. I'm not that knowledgeable of Christian faith, but
Did you
Nice.
you guys catch the Willow reference in the beginning?
I
Yeah.
didn't
with
catch
the
a Willow
with the
reference.
skeleton in the
yes,
cage.
Mad Mardigan's cage
Oh
thing.
yes. Yeah.
Apparently, David Lowery, the director of this, was a huge like Willow fan.
Right.
Which I mean,
Oh.
I was thinking about Willow this whole
I love
time,
it.
just the journey and the quest and all that.
Yeah.
Oh. But that was a good reference. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, definitely reminds
I've
me of
only
Willow.
seen that in Willow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
you don't see it very often.
No.
Just in general, I thought even if the story got slow and kind of boring for a little bit for me in the middle,
I don't think I was
acting-
really bored at any point. Like
Yeah,
it's
I just-
I agree it's slow and sort of
Very.
plodding. But like I like that they broke it up with the virtues and everything. The chapters, they had the titles,
the chapters,
the
do
journey
well,
out,
yeah.
a kindness, an interlude, all those. I like that because it's like it's letting me know that things are moving along, and then we're
It's just
when we're
those
reaching towards the end of
long
it.
shots of slowly walking through the woods. It's calming.
Yeah.
Kind of
Some
want to take a
of them-
nap.
And it's like you said, it's
the
beautiful
wind
to
sound,
look
like,
at
actually
too.
pretty-
So like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why I wasn't bored, because like some of the shots and some of the scenes are just like, wow, yeah, I enjoy looking at this.
The trees and the mountain ranges and the fields, like
Oh,
all that. Yeah. It's,
Speaking of cool shit to look at,
it's beautiful.
how about the fucking giants? It's like Attack on Titan shit.
Yeah.
It was. What was that all
just-
about?
I don't know.
hanging
I don't
out.
know
Just weird, or was he just tripping on shrooms at that scene because he was
Right.
earlier eating shrooms?
Right, exactly. The video I wasn't sure. I didn't really draw my own conclusions about what was up with the giants. Were they real? Like you said, was he just hallucinating? Because the fox was adamant that the giants go away. Like he didn't want the giants near him. But I think that was part of his quest. Like because he was like, oh hey, can I ride on your shoulder to make the journey easier? But I think the fox was like, no, you don't get to make this journey easier. So he was trying to chase the giants away.
See, that's why it makes more sense for that to be the mother than the random headless woman. I feel like the mom is just constantly trying to guide him, and she's
Yeah.
orchestrating all of this.
Or maybe it's
It's
just
all-
his spirit guide. Like it's just its own person. It's not anybody. It's the fox.
Yeah, or
You know, the spirit of the woods.
Or the
I don't
mom,
know, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
the mom employed the fox to work for her to guide his son.
Keep an eye on my baby.
Right?
Right. The
Maybe.
fox is interesting though because at first it wants to like it's been following him or whatever, but then it wants to come inside the cave at like when it's raining at night or something like that, or cold at night, and he like throws a rock at it to scare it away. And when I was watching, I was like, "Don't be mean to a fox. Come on, they're so cool looking." But it comes around, and he says, "All right, fine, come in then." And it doesn't. It lays like next to him, becomes like a dog, like a companion.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really cool, and it goes on all these adventures with him, and then it gets to the Lord and Lady's house, and I was like, "Is the Lord gonna capture?" And because he's a hunter,
Yeah.
is he gonna hunt the fox? Like that's gonna be sad. I kind of like this fox, right? And he does. He catches it, and then he makes it a thing like, "Hey, like I was gonna give this to you. Should we just let it go into nature?" I'm like, "Please don't kill it."
Right.
I totally thought he was gonna kill that fox. He doesn't. So again, is that the mom? Is it because like if it was killed, then the
I mean,
wouldn't have
it's
worked out for the
all
mom's idea.
it's all connected. It's all orchestrated. It wasn't a coincidence that he ended up at the Lord and Lady's house. That was part of his test. So, that was all
He barely
supposed to happen.
fucking makes it there. Like dude is struggling. Like
Yeah.
Right.
worse than Frodo and Sam. Like dude is having a rough time. Like, getting out there. He loses his horse. He's got no food. He's eating mushrooms off the side of a rock and tripping balls.
Right. Right.
Dude is having a tough time. So, but I think by the time he gets there, like he opens the door and just passes out, essentially collapses.
So,
Yeah.
my question is, I mean, obviously there's a reason, but why because they use the same actor for the lady as they do for Essel.
Why did they do that?
Why did they do that?
I do not know.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Alicia Vikander.
Dave did not watch this movie. I'm
Both of
convinced
them?
He did
Well,
not
she's
watch
got
this movie. He
Yeah.
fucking
short
slept through
hair
half
in
of it.
one, and
Yeah,
then she's got long
she's-
hair in the other.
Yeah, they use her in both for Essel and the lady.
Same fucking actress, bro.
Um,
I don't know.
She's
these
from
things.
Ex Machina.
but I think again, this was another test of chastity. I mean, obviously that whole thing was the
Because
test
he's
of chastity.
promising himself to her.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
This other chick rips the bell off, and
Yeah, she says,
basically
"Fuck your
rapes
bell.
him.
Yeah, get this out of here."
Which I read that the bell was something that they used back in the day. They put on like the prostitutes and stuff like that because they were dirty, so you could hear them coming and people could stay away from them. So apparently they put, and same thing with the short haircut because it was like a stain on them because they cut their hair short. So
Huh.
I don't know. Both of those are historically accurate. The bells and the short haircut for the prostitutes. I did not make the connection.
Yeah,
but now that you say that it's the same actress, that makes a lot more sense because that makes the temptation
Exactly, and it's
all
supposed to
more-
remind him of Essel, who's back
Promise-
home. He's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
His true love. The
Is
woman
it
that
though?
he's been-
Because he treats her like shit. Like she's like bearing her
the
soul
the
and
old version of him does.
right. She's bearing his
He's
heart
not a good
to
person.
him, and he doesn't say a damn word. She's like,
He's not a good guy.
yeah. He's not a likable. They don't set him up
But-
as a likable character.
Right. All right. So, in the end of this movie, what do you guys think actually happens?
I was gonna ask the same question. I mean, I interpret it as like I don't know. He has this whole. I don't know if he has a vision or he
That
actually.
was weird.
He actually goes through and then I don't know. It was weird. The only thing I can
ass vision.
right.
It
The
was
only
like
thing
a
I can
10,
interpret it
15
as
minute vision.
is like his future like flashing before his eyes like a vision. Like this is what will happen if I don't,
Go through with this.
accept my fate here. So
Because he's scared.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to die.
I mean, who wouldn't be scared in that situation?
I'm not ready. That's this whole thing he keeps saying over and over again. I'm not ready.
Yep. So I mean,
He's not ready to die.
that's just how I took it. I mean, maybe that's too straightforward. a way to look at it, but I just took it as he saw the future before his eyes. He didn't like what he saw, and then he decided, okay, it's better if I just face this now.
Like that whole flashback, flash forward scene with Vision or whatever. That's all like has musical accompaniment to it. I don't think there's any talking in that, is there? Which when
Not really.
it flashes back to him in the Green Citadel or Chapel, yes. The Green Chapel.
Chapel.
Makes it the thing that threw me off is that like the vision it literally is like a 10-minute long vision. I don't know. It took a while.
Yeah, it's the rest of his life. Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't know. I like the interpretation of the end because the off with your head. That's essentially that's how it ends. It's like,
Yep.
he takes off the green belt, he's got no protection or whatever, and then the Green Knight is proud of him and he says, now off with your head. And that either means chop off your head or get the fuck out of here with your head, like off with your head.
Right.
So I after I saw it and I noticed when he did like the little like scratch on him when he's like turning to walk away.
Yeah.
I think that is probably the true ending.
Yeah.
Like a video game.
That's what
ending.
I think it is.
Yeah.
The motherfucker lives, but he just comes back the person he's supposed to be because he's gonna be king. I think.
I mean,
so
if it
this whole thing was to test him to convert him to be
if it really was a test from his mother, she doesn't want her son to die. She wants him just to realize that he's been a fuck up so far in life and he needs to get his shit together. That's why it all comes back down to parenting. This is just tough love right here.
Right. Yeah. He has the thing that his mom gave him to protect him no matter what. So he's like, oh, he can't kill me with this magical green sash around my waist. But he gets another one back because of magic.
And he jizzed on it.
And so he's got it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. It's got a blessing in there of
it's a little crusty.
Yep. But anywho, Cussy. He has the vision. He's like, I can just run away with this fucking set. I can just run away and not fucking die and lose my head. And I can. But then he's like, he sees the vision of him being a bad king and ruining the kingdom. And like, what the fuck, right? He'll have a son and he'll die. Yep. So what does he do? He instead faces like, all right, I'm not ready. Hold on. And he's like, no, I'm not ready. And then he takes the sash off. He says, I'm ready to die. And then the Green Knight goes, and, like you said, Dave, just a little scratch on the back of the neck or on his top of his neck. And that's what his said. Like, just because you did that to me doesn't mean I'm going to do it to you, though. He's learning like mercy and like you don't need an inch to take a mile. Just keep that inches for you. And that's it. And I think that's what he does. Just like, and learn from that, like just a little bit.
He learned a lot of lessons.
So, yeah, valuable life lessons. Absolutely.
So you're saying
I
should send my kids on a quest when they become of age and send them to go.
If they're hanging out in hanging out in whorehouses and bumming around all day, then yeah.
They might need to. Sometimes you need a little tough love. You need a little witchcraft.
Yeah, exactly.
Inflict some tough love.
Just conjure a giant green knight and everything will be fine.
Yeah, I've this written down here. Like, what a shitty game this knight came up with. Rochambeauing head chops. I'm like, it just doesn't make any sense. But
that's the whole point. Is he going to accept his fate or is he going to run away from it?
It's a little bit of a thinker. And now, like you said, Brandon, I kind of wouldn't mind watching it again. This is one that I would kind of take in again because overall, like the acting in the movie is fantastic. Like the visuals in it are fantastic.
Yep.
The audio, I don't know. It's got that weird.
I thought it was pretty cool. It was different.
A24 like high violins that are just crescendoing constantly for hours. Like it gets to be a little intense, but
I more like the sound, like the wind and the natural sounds that they were adding to it. I thought that was like a nice touch. Kind of like The Witch did this a lot of the same thing. I thought
The Witch.
The Witch.
I forgot to bring up. Why did the Lord kiss him?
This is from
I watched the original poem and what
Yes.
there's some things that are changed here, but his test there was basically I'll go out and get whatever I get out there you can have, and whatever you get in my
Right.
house while I'm out I want as well. So he goes and gets like an animal, right? The Lord goes and gets an animal and he brings it back to Gawain. It's like, hey, you can have this animal that I got.
So Gawain was
What did
supposed to
you
jerk
get
him
today?
off.
So yes,
No.
Gawain got a kiss, and then he got like 2 kisses, and then he got 3 kisses and sex or something like that in the original version. So when he goes to the king, he just gives him a kiss, but he's not gonna jerk him off
That's
or
what
have
he.
sex with him or whatever.
That's what.
And then
That's what the
movie,
Lord
there's a
wanted,
sash
right?
involved. Right.
Mhm.
He doesn't
wanted-
give it to him. Again, he fails. He doesn't keep up
Yeah.
to his word. He's
It's
not a
true.
man of his word.
Gawain needed to be the bottom, but yeah. Over the course of it,
Yeah.
the lady tempts him like over three separate times, and he turns her down the first 2 times, and then I think the third time gets a little hot and bothered. They kind of
Yep.
clean that all up in the movie, but I like the way that it went. It was interesting. It had a lot of suspense because I don't know. I felt like this was kind of building up with Old Boy last week, where we're building up to like, why the fuck was this guy imprisoned? Like, why the whole why of the story, and
Yeah.
this one was all building up towards that end confrontation with the Green Knight.
Right.
I
You
like
knew
kind of
what
the
was
way that
getting.
those go. The way that those go.
I agree with. Yeah, I agree with that because you
Yes.
knew what's going to happen at the end of this movie, or what's supposed to happen at the end of this movie, and it's just all about how it all resolves in the end.
So
Yeah.
nice. Well, it was no Lord of the
A24.
Rings, but
No.
it was an adventure all its own. You guys
That's
got anything
different.
else you want
Different's
to drop
good.
in on here?
I think
Yeah.
so. No.
I feel like we touched on everything. I agree.
It was an interesting one.
I agree. I would be down for watching it again just to catch some more of those little intricacies because the first time through, I think it takes a little bit to kind of appreciate it and I thought when I first watched it and saw the ending, I thought, okay, he just dies in the end. That's kind of dumb. But then I'm like, maybe that's not what happened, So it makes you think a little bit more.
Like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's got that classic A24 feel to it. So,
Yep.
I mean,
memorable fucking movies.
Definitely.
all around. That's all they do. They just pump out good artistic stuff these days. It's not going to be your Hollywood schlock.
Thank God, man. If we didn't have A24, like what would we be doing in America for movies? Because Hollywood sucks at making movies these days.
Hey,
No original ideas over there. At least A24 is coming with original ideas.
True.
it's very true.
Even if it's an adaptation, but still.
I mean, it's an adaptation of a fucking ancient poem. I think we're fine.
14th
Fucking
century,
poem.
Yeah.
We don't even know who wrote it. And then they titled it like years after. Like it was like centuries later. Like, hey, we should name this poem. It's just cool that somebody said, hey, in 2021 or whatever, I'll make a movie off of that.
Although I think there was already a movie, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight movie.
It's been done.
Wasn't it with
Sean Connery?
Sean Connery was
Really?
the Green Knight. Yeah, Sean Connery was the
Get
Green
outta
Knight.
It looks
here.
fucking horrible, bro. It looks so dumb.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to Google this now.
Yeah, it's comical.
We can come back to that. Why
Yeah,
don't we-
anyone that's listening to this, go look up Green Knight Sean Connery. Let's look it up.
Well, I'll have some things to say about this, but why don't we take a break? We're gonna come back. We're gonna play a little bit of 3-man. Haiku you doing?
What you doing?
I'm excited because I love these. These are always fun, exciting. So let's take a quick stop. Let's go refresh our beers. Head back to the castle, and we'll see you after this. And we're back with a round of Haiku you doing?
What you doing?
Doing?
Brought to us by our friend Tejas in the Discord. I'm not gonna try and pronounce that in Japanese because
Yobu kumin no haiku. I might have butchered
nomadic
that.
Haiku. Yeah, well, it works. So yeah, he's going to post a haiku in the Discord. I must.
More reason to join our Discord. It's
Right.
fun.
Yes, absolutely.
Nomads Fantasy /Discord.
Random.
Nomadsfantasy.com/Discord.
Yeah. So he will be posting Haiku in there. I don't know if we're doing movies or video games.
Well,
or
you
both,
got to
but
read. You got to read. He
Yeah,
posted.
Dave, you gotta read, brother.
You're the host
excuse
here.
me. In this round, there will be 5 movies. There you go. Answer the question right there. Answers will be blacked out, and you will play together as a team to guess the movie Haiku is alluding to.
Right.
Please enjoy. I will
Please
do my
enjoy.
best. I'll do my best to enjoy.
Right.
These are usually pretty tricky, but okay. Let's see.
First
one
one's
is posted.
up. First one's up.
Isle of
Ancient Beings. Whoa.
Jungle hides a giant threat. Beware large large chickens. Chickens.
Chickens.
Those tricky
Ooh,
chickens.
Oh, is this Kong?
Kong?
This
Yeah.
Kong's?
I think it's got to be or
Mm,
King. What are the other Kong movies? King of
Jungle hides a giant threat. Beware large chickens. Well, there's Skull Island, Kong Skull Island, but
okay.
there's
Skull Island,
Godzilla versus
okay.
Kong.
And there's just
But-
Kong. But
What? Is
think-
it Jurassic Park?
Giant
Large
chickens.
chickens?
Chickens aren't scary.
Oh.
And he's just like,
Oh,
well,
Brandon.
Velociraptors where they came
Isle.
from.
What,
Island.
What's
Ancient
the,
beings.
It's Isla whatever. I forgot the name of the Jurassic Park
Ilsa
island.
Sorna.
Yeah, something like that.
Ilsa Nublar.
Yeah,
The other-
yeah.
that's
And it's in the jungle. It's a jungle island.
Hides
Brand-
a
I think
giant
you
threat.
might- I think you
threat
might
You
be
would
onto
be-
this
you
one,
might, yeah,
Brandon.
you might have nailed it. I
The
was,
chickens lines up.
I was gonna say I had Kong in my head. Just
I'm good with
I love
Jurassic Park.
Kong Skull Island. Actually, I think it's a great movie, but I don't think it's
Yeah,
Let's
Jura-
go with Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. All right,
Right, final answer.
Let's reveal.
Is correct.
Jurassic Park is correct. Good call. Good call, Brandon.
Nice, Brandon.
Yeah.
The chickens. I don't know. I thought
Yeah, I didn't.
maybe they have giant.
Chickens
They have
aren't scary.
they have
Or what did you say?
giant-
Doesn't sound scary to me.
the giant ape. Maybe they got giant chickens there for Kong to eat too. I don't know.
Right.
All right, question number 2. In order to win, must stop the greatest weapon. First, recover plans.
New Hope.
Star Wars, New Hope.
Or it could. Well, it could be like Rogue One though. Don't
Whoa.
you know? Because that's the
Right.
whole conceit of Rogue One is to
First,
recover the plans.
Recover plans.
First,
So, yeah,
recover plans.
Because they do want to, obviously, in order to win, they must stop the greatest weapon. They learn of the Death Star,
Right.
but they have to get the
They
plans. That's all they're
first
trying to do in that
recover
movie, so-
plans.
Wait, how many Bothans died to get us the plans? Is the question.
Many.
Many. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah,
That does make sense. It makes more sense than
Eric, I think you're right. Right?
it's gotta be right. Gotta be Rogue One.
Rogue,
First
yeah, it's
recover
Rogue One.
plans,
Star
because
Wars.
it's not a
Sorry,
New
Rogue
Hope, and
One.
it wouldn't be.
It's Rogue.
Return of
The
Jedi,
official
isn't it?
title is Rogue One: A Star Wars Story.
Star Wars story. Yeah,
All right.
and it's
Final
long
answer?
enough, bro. I think.
Yeah,
I think looking at the.
yeah. Reveal.
All right.
Yeah.
Rogue One.
All right.
Star
All
Wars
right. All
story.
right.
Nice.
All right. That was so
That was
good.
a tricky one. See, I was lost at first there. Eric had his hands up, like he knew exactly what it was.
Well, as soon as
Sorry.
I must stop greatest weapon, I'm like Death Star. Okay, it's Star Wars.
Right, and then recover plans.
Recover
yeah.
plans. Yep.
Operation Stardust.
Right.
That's a Thrawn thing, Brandon. You wouldn't.
I know. The
Sorry.
Thrawn books
I
are
know.
so good. Thrawn books are so good.
I'm itching to get in some Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. So, oh boy, what is this?
All right, we got the
Number
next
3,
one up.
Hostile companion. Muther says not to worry in the name of science.
Uther.
At first, I thought alien. At first, I thought alien, but I don't know why. Hostile companion,
Hostile companion.
and then it's M in capital letters MU
Right.
dash TH dash UR, and then it says not to worry. Mother says not to
Oh.
worry.
Oh, Mother's
In
the name of the ship.
science.
Mother's the name of the name of the thing on the alien ship.
What
isn't it?
is it?
The computer
if you-
that Sigourney Weaver always runs to.
Is it?
Isn't it Mother?
No.
Because the alien would be a hostile companion, dude,
Oh.
you know.
Is it a companion though?
Well, it's on the ship.
A
They're riding with
companion
you.
is
I always think of it a
yeah,
companion as like a someone, like someone you're
like
with.
I'll join you in your
Right.
adventure. Yeah, tag along.
And that, well,
Companion,
isn't
hostile companion.
and Bishop is trying to keep
In
the
the
alien
name of
alive
science.
in the name of science. That's
Right.
why Bishop.
No, I think you're
or
right. I think I
the
would go
droid
with
is trying to
alien.
keep him.
I think alien's a
This
good.
is a
All right,
yeah.
I'm gonna click it.
Final
Click
answer.
it.
Alien.
Alien is correct.
Nice.
Nice.
3 for 3 so far.
Mother. Maybe that's how they do like mother's name is Muthur,
Dude.
like, as like the old school like DOS ASCII name or whatever.
Eric, where does Tejas do this? This is so good. He's so good at these.
Well, he has an entire Facebook group where he posts all the haikus that he does. So
Okay.
he's well versed in haikus.
He's a haiku a day guy,
Yeah.
which is a lot of work.
Oh my god, people need to join this guy's Facebook group. These are
I'll-
so fun.
Oh yeah, I'll get the name of it too, just to shout it out, because yeah, I love when they pop up on my feed. It's called Go Nana Go, a haiku group.
Go
There
Nana,
you
go.
go.
Yep.
Nana's always going.
Nana's always going. That's right. All right.
All right, number 4.
Number
Fourth one's up.
Haiku, number 4.
Sleeping below snow, I see you and you see me. Who can be
The Thing.
believed?
The Thing.
Ooh, Eric, you're quick on that. Let me see.
Gotta be. Who can be believed?
Yeah.
Sleeping
The
below snow. They find it in
I
the
clicked
snow
on it.
in
It's The
Antarctica.
Thing.
It's The Thing. Gotta be.
Eric, you're good. That was really. I was like, I have no idea, and then you said the thing. I'm like, yeah. it
No.
is.
As soon like
See you,
who can
you
be
see me.
believed? That's the snow. First, it got me thinking for the snow, and then who can be believed sealed it for me.
Right. I see you and you see me. That's good.
That is great.
That's
That's
good.
a really good one.
All right, clicking, and it is The Thing.
Oh, you're way behind us, Dave. We already we already clicked on it.
Oh, okay.
I think Brandon like clicked on it as soon as I
I
said
was so
it.
confident in your answer, I just clicked it. No, we don't need to debate this. This is totally right.
It's The Thing. It's got to be The Thing.
Eric's in the zone, by the way. I'm
Gotta
noticing.
build it up.
I didn't. The first one I didn't. The first one, Jurassic Park, and Alien, I wasn't 100% sure of either. But
Oh,
the other two, I was like instantly.
I take it back. You're not on fire.
The
I'm
more-
like 50% in the zone.
You're at high heat.
We'll see what the next one. We'll see what the next one holds.
Oh, the final. We get to go to haiku camp. Yay!
I was good. Yeah. What's our reward for this one? All right, here we go.
Final question. Extravagant style, lost, gone down multiple miles, the first of its kind.
Huh.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Extravagant
First of its
style.
kind. First of its kind.
Just say it with a different inflection.
First of its kind.
Lost, gone down multiple miles.
Extravagant is like luxury, right? Like
Yeah.
big, better, the best of, right? Extravagant, a
Yeah.
rich style.
I got an idea.
First of its kind. What's your idea? Yeah. What's your idea? Bounce it off me.
Oh, it's not a movie. Never mind. My idea
Okay,
is
good one.
my idea is null and void. I was gonna say Bioshock.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind. Yeah. That's
Lost.
kind of thinking along the right guidelines.
Gone down multiple miles.
Oh, I didn't even think like it's sunk or something. Titanic.
Bro. Boom, shaka like a boom. I
It is the
just
first of its
assisted
kind, right,
Eric.
Scheme?
And
You
Eric
did.
just
That was the
fucking slammed
perfect
dunked
assist. That was the perfect assist. Because I wasn't thinking like lost under sea. Like gone down
that. And the
multiple
Titanic's
miles.
first of its kind, and is an extravagant. Yeah, dude.
Gotta be a Titanic.
Titanic,
Okay,
the movie.
you get the clicks on this one.
All right. Let's see. Titanic.
Hey,
Ooh,
nice.
well done, gentlemen.
5
Well
for
done.
5 on that one.
Even though we got 5, they
surprised.
were tricky. They are tricky.
It was tricky.
I wouldn't have gotten that one. That one was tough.
But I hope everyone that listened got got to play along and enjoy. Hopefully they got them.
That's right.
There you go.
505.
That was pretty quick too. So
Yeah.
all right, nice. Thanks, guys, and thank you, Tejas,
Yeah,
for putting
Tejas.
that together. 'Cause,
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
They're
keep
always so
pumping out
fun.
those haikus. That's those are always super cool to play with. And I like you know, everybody gets to play together. We all win in this game.
We all win. That's right.
Mhm.
I like
Nice.
a
Yep.
team game.
Yep. No, that was good. That was
All
great.
right. Well, thank you, Tejas. Eric, why don't you? God damn it! The gif of me up in the thing.
Oh my god. Yay.
Hold on.
Yeehaw! All
If you want to
right,
know what
Eric,
we're laughing about, you gotta join our Discord.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait.
yeah,
You might be able to see it. Oh, you
get to see
you get to see it in the video version.
get to see shitty cutout gifs of a doppelganger of me. Apparently, I have a country doppelganger that lives
With
in
the
the same
cowboy
country.
hat, dude.
Yikes! That's just man threw me for a loop there.
Oh, that's so good. Love it.
That was something. All right, Eric, why don't you start meandering us out of here? Let's let's take it home.
Well, if you want to follow us on the socials, you can follow us at Nomads of Fantasy, Twitter and Instagram. You can follow us at The Nomads of Fantasy on TikTok, youtube.com/@nomadsofantasy for the video versions of the podcast, for, you know, archives of the streams that we do. Speaking of streams, you can follow us twitch.tv/nomadsofantasy. We've been streaming games on Friday nights. It's always fun. Got one lined up for tomorrow. I don't know what's on the docket, but it's always fun getting together, doing some games there. And join the Discord, nomadsofantasy.com/Discord. And yeah, visit the website, nomadsofantasy.com. Listen to the podcast there, get some merch, some cool merch. I feel like we don't talk about the merch store enough, but we do have merch if you want to get Nomads of Fantasy
It's not a
hat,
loud
shirt.
design. It's just like the
Yeah, it's
swords,
classy.
or, you know, just trying to make it kind of minimal, so it's clean looking, it's cool looking.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, for all your nomad needs, just visit the nomadsofantasy.com. Oh, and whatmapgame.com also.
Mm-hmm.
Player game that we made.
Don't forget
It's
that.
cool. Yep.
Go play some maps.
But yeah, if there's nothing else, play some maps. Then we'll get out of here. And as always, safe travels, nomads.
Peace out.
Off with your head.